Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Gilmore Girls, Season 1, Episode 2, The Lorelai's First Day at Chilton.
Okay, so this episode felt like an Palladino or Sherman-Palladino show. I felt very like this for a lot of it.
It doesn't stay like that.
Okay.
It's not, Lorelai, or Rory has a tough transition into Chilton.
I mean, and that's to be expected, but Lorelai waking up late and all of her fancy clothes are at the dry cleaners. You idiot. You keep one at home. Hello.
Also, Rory has clothes that she can borrow.
There were so many other outfits that she could have put together instead of that.
Of course.
Honky tonk outfit.
Yeah. Although, like I said out there, she looks hot.
Listen, I am not taking anything away from Laura Graham because that bod looked fine. Yeah. But oh my God. It was a lot. And I can't with the Mary. I hate it. I hate it so much. And then I get Paris's thing. Yeah. I get it. This is the one thing she has. Yeah. But let me tell you something, Miss Paris. If you and I were at a job interview together, I probably would get the job over you because school and education isn't the only thing I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I remember in school, I mean, and granted, this might be like a toxic thing that I held on to for dear life, where they were like, if you're applying for a job, they are less likely to hire you if you have a 4.0 than if you had a 3.0 or a 3.5, because it means that you are used to experiencing failure.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Okay. So someone who has perfect grades, they're going to have a harder time accepting defeat or failure.
Sure.
So I was like, oh, say less. No problem.
That's super interesting. I've never heard that before. I like that.
And I was like, so all I have to do is keep it right. Mm-hmm. And then but I don't have to like kill myself over getting perfect grades.
Yeah. Okay. So I mentioned it out there. I will reiterate. Rory and Paris have a rocky relationship that trends upwards. Okay. So like it gets worse at the end of the season for a little while. But it's after they've like gone up and then something happens that like plummets them back down, but they go back up again. So it's like,
does Roy get like put up for editor for the newspaper or something and take it away from her in a weird way through no fault of her own?
That doesn't not happen later, but that's not what happens in this season.
Okay.
There's also, it's very standard, like, poor little rich kids kind of stuff with both Paris and Tristan. Mm-hmm. So they both are, it's like, they have nothing else to do but be dicks at school because they don't have parents that, like, care or, like, give a shit.
I don't know. Don't you guys have a hobby that brings you joy?
Tristan kind of sleeps around.
I mean, you can kind of tell because he was doing everything except whipping it out and putting it onto Rory's face. He was so in her orbit. I'm like, I was like, you need to get out of my face.
Okay, so I'm going to say something now that's not going to really come into effect until like mid-season 2 if we end up getting there. In my opinion, Tristan is the greatest tragedy of this show, the character of Tristan.
Okay.
Because he got this like WB TV movie about the Lone Ranger.
Okay.
And then immediately off the back of that, he got One Tree Hill. So he unceremoniously leaves in season 2.
Okay. For a moment, I was like, Tristan or Chad Michael Murray? I was like, I got lost for a minute there.
So he unceremoniously leaves right as he's getting character development.
Oh.
And it's infuriating.
Oh, great.
So I just like to put that out there. I think it's because I also love Chad Michael Murray as an actor. I think he's great. And so it like makes me sad every time when I rewatch this show. I'm just like, God damn it. Because I'm like Adele. Like we could have had it all. All right. So we also met the headmaster. Thoughts? Do you dig my Quentin Travers comparison?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very that. There was something he said that I was like, wow, this really shouldn't matter. And now I can't remember what it was.
Was it about like wanting to be on TV?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry for anyone whose ears I just blew out. What's wrong with wanting to be on TV?
It's frivolous.
There's so much work that goes into being on TV, you twat.
Also,
I'm sorry, disparaging the name of Oprah?
Also, she specifically said she wanted to be Christiana Amanpour, which is like...
I don't even know who that is.
She's an international journalist. She, God, there's a word for what she is. She's very serious and important. Like, when I remember her from...
She's like a war correspondent or something?
Yeah. Okay. I remember her from the Gulf War. Like, she was constantly overseas, like, reporting on the scene and stuff. And so I'm just like, that's not a frivolous job.
Yeah, imagine you, tiny man, from your teeny tiny office at Chilton.
Yeah.
Trying to disparage a war correspondent? Eat a dick!
Yeah.
Also, being on TV is great. Shut up.
Being on TV is... I mean, I've never been on TV, but...
It's really fun.
I imagine it would be cool.
So much work goes into it.
So, he also... he doesn't really soften, but, like, they kind of give him what for a couple of times. Mm-hmm. The first one is in 2 episodes. It's hysterical.
Good.
We didn't get a lot of Suki, although we did meet Jackson.
Oh, is he important?
He is important. Jackson is the produce supplier for the inn. And he and Suki have this thing all the time about like what quality the produce is and stuff. It's like very funny. And then I'm trying to think. And we also met Madeline and Louise, who I think are super fun. Those are Paris's like Goonies. And they did I say Goonies? What word was I looking for? Does that work?
Goons?
Goons, but there's like something.
Lackeys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Regardless. They're a lot of fun. I like them. It's always interesting to me why they like Paris, because like they are so different from each other. Like they are super girly, and Paris is like school only.
Paris is power.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know. I wasn't super popular. And I just stayed in my own lane, and I had a fine time.
Yeah, same.
So, and I had somebody after we graduated, I like asked, because he was popular. And so I was like, what is everyone's opinion about me? And he goes, do you really want me to tell you? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, that you think that you're better than everyone? And I was like, you're not wrong. I was like, that's a fair assessment. So, whatever.
What is that from Sweet Home Alabama? Where I think Josh Lucas is telling her, like, you just come in here and think you're better than everybody. And she goes, I am better than them. Just always, I'm just like, I mean.
Yeah. And it's just like, whatever. I just stayed in my own lane, and I didn't really need to siphon anything from anyone. I just wanted these boys to like me out loud. Because they all waited until we weren't in school anymore. Yeah, trash. I didn't date any of them.
Boys are the worst.
They really are.
And so then we also met Babette and Maury.
Okay, so when I giggled and I was like, I'll tell you in there. So when you said that earlier, I kind of went, like it made my brain go fuzzy. And then when Lorelais said it, did the same thing. All I hear is Moira saying, baby.
Baby, no. Babette. It's Sally Struthers.
Lauren Graham.
Oh.
When it was really like, baby.
Baby. So they're the Gilmore's neighbors, and I'm gonna tell you now, you don't see anything.
Does the cat die?
There is no violence towards the cat, but Cinnamon is old, and Cinnamon dies in this season, and they have a wake for Cinnamon.
When we don't see the dead cat? Okay, good.
And then they get a new kitten named Apricot.
Cute! Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's just it's the first day at Chilton, and both of them have kind of terrible days. Rory accidentally breaks Paris's like really insane project.
Yeah,
because she literally, I love her delivery. Is there water in that moat? It's like I don't know what it was supposed to be, but
and my whole thing was, why didn't they just bring the broken thing into the classroom and be like, I did it, but it broke.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
instead of being like, I didn't finish it. Yeah. I would have been like, it's out in the hallway on the floor. If you wanted to look at it,
crumbled in pieces.
Yeah.
Also, just pivot and be like, this is after the destruction.
Yeah. Well, so that's another thing I was thinking about too when the headmaster was talking. These shows that we watch, educators need to be more concerned about creating successful environments for students to thrive. This whole like, you're going to fail, you're going to fail, you're going to fail. Okay, then why am I even doing this? Like, if you're already going to set me up for failure.
Then you are not presenting it to me properly.
Yeah, it's a you problem, not a me problem. Yeah. And like presenting a stack this big, but being like, but you still need to get notes from another student because it's going to be in more detail. You're teaching wrong.
I agree completely.
Got on my nerves. And then
neither of us went to prep schools. I don't know if it's really like this, but if there's one thing I know about prep schools, it's that they're all drinking and doing a lot more drugs and having a lot more sex than public school.
They're all on coke, every single one of them. The history teacher was the only one that seemed okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let kids learn, I guess, and like in a way that it's not militant.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So let's see. Emily also showed up at the school, and Lorelai sort of hated that. And then she started just like buying a bunch of stuff. Like she was going to buy uniforms, and she bought a parking space for Rory, and she's going to buy her a car. And Lorelai was like, I don't think so. Like, absolutely not. And it was the DSL with our first glimpse of Sean Gunn in this episode. Not Kirk, he is Mick in this episode. But she basically, I love that she interrupted her at her salon. And I mean, just the two of them like bouncing off each other is so fun.
Yeah.
Even though it's like acrimonious in the show a lot of the time, I think the like acting wise, it's so good. Them going against each other. And it's not like it's not acrimonious all the time. They get into, but again, it's like it's bumpy. So, and it's just they both have boundaries. But once we get more into it, there are like a lot of think pieces where it's like, who's the real villain of Gilmore Girls? And like 9 times out of 10, it comes down to Rory.
Really?
But like not until later.
Okay.
I would say the first 3 seasons, she's like a fantastic main character. And then it's like some of the writing starts getting kind of sloppy and you're like, what's happening? And then so how do you feel about Luke now?
No, I mean, I feel the same.
Yeah.
I'm devastated that it's going to take so long.
I let slip while we were out there because they had their little flirty moment where she said that the Chilton dad came to like hit on her and he was like, you shouldn't go out with him. And she was like, no, I'm not going to because his like kid goes to school with my kid. And I just leaned over and I was like, it takes forever. So
Is it only just because of Rory or
no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
She gets a boyfriend this season.
Okay. Rory does or Lorelai?
Lorelai does.
Okay.
And also Christopher does pop in and multiple times throughout the series, and every time he does, he fucks her up. So
yikes.
Yeah. Oh boy. I like this show. I remember when I was watching it last time, I think it was because I did it so quickly in a row that by the end of it, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is so annoying. I don't know why I like this show so much, but like starting over from the beginning and doing it a little slower, I think is going to be fun.
Okay.
I just got I watched the whole thing in like a week and a half.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was too much in a row.
Well, yeah. Just interesting looking at all the different toxic mother-daughter relationships.
Oh, yeah.
There are a couple.
Yeah. No real fashion moments in this one. The cutoffs are obviously hot and her suit is fine, but that's like mostly it for this episode.
I love that we just don't do skirt suits anymore. Is that like a thing?
Yeah.
But I mean, like there are variations of it. It's just the really like super fitted thing. I'm glad that's gone.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
Oh, I kind of like them.
And it just seems very
Ally McBeal.
Yes. Yeah. And like you literally, did you hear it? Because I said it in my brain. But I mean, she got smoking legs.
Yeah. She wears skirts a lot. Skirts, and they both wear dresses a lot. They start to more. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're going to go watch episode 3 and then we'll be back after that. Bye.